Chapter 1. The shattered fairy tale. We enter this world steeped in romantic mythology. From our earliest bedtime stories to blockbuster films, we're taught that love, particularly a woman's love, is steadfast, unconditional, and eternal. The prince slays the dragon, wins the princess, and they live happily ever after. Pop culture reinforces this with love songs, promising undying devotion, and movie scenes where passion overcomes all obstacles. This cultural conditioning runs deep in the male psyche. Boys grow up believing that if they prove themselves worthy, through bravery, loyalty, or achievement, they'll be rewarded with a love that endures. We're never taught that a woman's affection might be contingent on something as fleeting as emotional stimulation. The painful awakening comes later. Often, after heartbreak, a man discovers that while he loved the woman herself, her essence, her flaws, her soul, she may have only loved how he made her feel in specific moments. His love was directional, building toward a shared future. Hers was experiential, rooted in present tense, emotions that inevitably change. This fundamental mismatch explains so much relationship turmoil. A man will weather storms, forgive flaws, and stay committed through difficulties because his love is about the person. A woman's love often follows her emotional state. When the feelings change, so does her attachment. She's not being fickle. She's being true to her nature. The tragedy isn't that women love this way. It's that no one prepares men for this reality. We're set up for devastation by the fairy tales. A man gives his heart completely, only to discover too late that her love operated by different rules. His confusion post-breakup stems from this core misunderstanding. He thought they were playing the same game. This isn't about blaming women or romanticizing male love. It's about recognizing biological and psychological differences in how we experience attachment. The healthiest response isn't bitterness, but clear-eyed understanding. A man must love without expecting reciprocity in the exact same form, while building a life so complete that no single romantic outcome can destroy him. The first step toward emotional resilience is seeing through the cultural myths to love's more complex truth. What we call heartbreak is often just the collision between our childhood fairy tales and adult realities. The wise man keeps his capacity to love while shedding his illusions about its permanence. Asterisk chapter 2. The conditional nature of female love. The female heart operates on an emotional exchange system fundamentally different from male attachment. Where men love with permanence, women love with conditions, not out of malice, but by biological and psychological design. This truth reveals itself in phrases like, "I love you, but I'm not in love with you," or "You're perfect, but ... statements that baffle men, yet make perfect sense in the feminine emotional framework. Female attraction follows an invisible algorithm of sensation and response. A woman may genuinely believe she loves you, but what she actually loves is the neural cocktail. You inspire the dopamine of novelty, the oxytocin of intimacy, the serotonin of security. When that biochemical mix changes, so does her experience of love. This explains why the same woman who once gazed at you with devotion can later regard you with indifference. Despite no fundamental change in your character, men misinterpret these shifts as betrayal when they're simply the natural progression of female emotional architecture. The masculine approach, loving through difficulty, valuing commitment over transient feelings, often backfires with women. What a man views as loyal devotion, a woman may experience as suffocating predictability. Her evolutionary wiring compels her to seek emotional vitality. Sometimes at the expense of stability, this conditional nature manifests in subtle ways long before a breakup. The decreased enthusiasm in her voice, the distracted quality of her attention, the way she stops lighting up at your presence. These are not conscious decisions, but emotional weather patterns. A man clinging to the relationship contract misses these atmospheric shifts until it's too late. While the woman has been emotionally detaching for months, the painful wisdom men must integrate is that female love cannot be secured through sheer will or worthiness. It's not a judgment on your value as a man, but a reflection of how emotion-driven female attraction operates. The solution isn't to resent this reality, but to understand it, to recognize that keeping a woman's love requires maintaining the conditions that foster her positive emotions, not just assuming obligation will guarantee permanence. This knowledge liberates men from taking breakups as personal failures. When her love fades, it doesn't mean you weren't enough. It means you stopped being the emotional experience she needed. The mature response isn't to chase or plead, but to accept that female love was never yours to lose, only yours to inspire. For as long as the conditions aligned, Chapter 3, The Emotional Roller Coaster Paradox. Women's attraction follows a counterintuitive logic that often contradicts male rationality. Where men seek calm waters, women are drawn to emotional waves, not because they're irrational, but because their neurological wiring rewards emotional intensity. This explains why stable, dependable men frequently lose out to partners who provide less security, but more emotional turbulence. The feminine psyche thrives on what psychologists call intermittent reinforcement, the unpredictable alternation between reward and withdrawal that creates addictive attachment patterns. A man who is consistently available becomes emotionally invisible, while one who alternates between warmth and distance creates a biochemical pull. This isn't manipulation. It's the natural operation of female desire seeking what feels most alive. Modern relationships suffer because men mistake consistency for connection. They believe showing up every day with steady devotion should be enough, unaware that female passion often flourishes in the space between togetherness and absence. The very qualities that make a man reliable, predictability, transparency, emotional availability, can unintentionally starve a woman's romantic feelings over time. This dynamic manifests in the nice guy phenomenon, a caring partner who remembers anniversaries and prioritizes her comfort, often watches helplessly as she's drawn to someone less invested but more emotionally stimulating. His mistake wasn't in being good to her, but in failing to recognize that female desire requires tension to survive. The solution isn't to play games, but to understand that emotional energy follows natural laws. Just as fire needs oxygen, female passion requires room to breathe. Men who maintain their own purpose, boundaries, and mystery paradoxically become more attractive by not making the relationship their sole focus. This chapter isn't about blaming women for their nature. What about helping men navigate reality? The healthiest relationships balance security with spontaneity, giving women enough stability to feel safe, but enough emotional variation to stay engaged. When a man stops trying to control love through sheer effort and starts understanding its organic rhythms, he transforms from a frustrated partner into someone who naturally inspires lasting attraction. Chapter 4. The Aftermath. Why men break when a relationship ends. Men don't just lose a partner, they lose their entire emotional architecture. Unlike women, who often process heartbreak through immediate emotional release and social support, men grieve in isolation, trapped in a loop of analysis and regret. They replay memories like forensic detectives searching for the moment everything went wrong, convinced there must have been some critical mistake they could have fixed. But the brutal truth is this. Her departure wasn't about your failures, it was about her feelings. Men love in absolutes, constructing relationships like cathedrals meant to stand for lifetimes. Women love in moments, experiencing connection as a series of emotional states. When those states shifted, her love didn't die, it simply ceased to exist, like a fire that burned through its fuel. This is why she can move on while you're still haunted, because for her, love was never an unbreakable vow, but an experience that reached its natural conclusion. The most painful realization isn't that she stopped loving you, it's that she loved you differently than you loved her. You saw a future. She lived in the present. You built, she felt. You anchored yourself in commitment. She followed emotional currents. This mismatch explains why men often emerge from breakups not just hurt, but fundamentally disoriented, as if the rules of life itself have changed. Closure rarely comes from her, because she likely doesn't understand your need for it. Women move forward by releasing emotions. Men try to make sense of them. The healing begins when you accept that no explanation will reconcile how deeply you loved with how easily she left. Her actions weren't a judgment of your worth, just proof that her love operated on a different frequency. The path forward isn't in rewriting the past, but in rebuilding yourself. The man who survives heartbreak isn't the one who drowns in what-ifs, but the one who recognizes that his love was never the problem, his expectations were. Stop asking why she couldn't love you the way you loved her. Start asking why you ever believed love alone could guarantee permanence. This is where true strength forms, not in bitterness, but in the quiet understanding that some loves are seasons, not destinies. And seasons change. Chapter 5. The Path to Sovereign Love. The final revelation is this: you were never broken by her absence, but by your own expectation of permanence. Female love was never designed to complete you, only to reflect the strength of your own foundation. The moment you make a woman the centerpiece of your existence, you hand her the power to dismantle it. True freedom begins when you stop seeking validation through attachment and start building emotional sovereignty. This isn't about rejecting love, but about redefining it. The healthiest relationships occur when two whole people choose each other, not because they need to feel complete, but because they enhance each other's already fulfilling lives. A man anchored in purpose doesn't crumble when love fades. He simply returns to his center. He understands that feminine love flows like water; it can nourish him, but he must never build his house in its path. The key lies in developing what psychologists call secure attachment with yourself first. When your self-worth comes from internal sources, your mission, your growth, your principles, you become immune to the shifting tides of a woman's emotions. You can appreciate love without depending on it, enjoy passion without demanding it last forever. This is the paradox. The less you need her love, the more freely she can give it. Practical sovereignty looks like maintaining your purpose regardless of relationship status, setting boundaries that protect your peace, and refusing to abandon yourself to keep someone else. It's recognizing that chasing validation only makes you less attractive. While self-possession naturally draws the right connections, the healed man doesn't love less, he loves more wisely. He stops confusing intensity with intimacy and presence with permanence. He knows the difference between women who want to share his journey and those who simply want to visit. Most importantly, he makes peace with the truth that feminine love is a beautiful bonus in life, never the foundation. Your liberation begins the day you stop asking, "Why didn't she stay?" Start asking, "Why was I ever waiting on someone else to decide my worth?" That's when you'll discover the most powerful love, the kind that never leaves, because it was always yours to begin with.